always love getting on calls with you.
All right, let's go. So we're going to be learning about some API calls, and I got Trevor here. Heck yeah, showing up for some one-on-one coaching, man. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So essentially, this is Rapid API. So if we were to break down this software into, which is in our GHL account, into 3 steps. The first step is we got to get that MP3. So I went over to Rapid API. Rapid API is a marketplace to sell API endpoints. All right. I sell a website scraper API endpoint, and you can see that, like, here's all the calls that people are calling. Like, people are calling it right now, like, this is the call. Well, I could also go to apps, and I could search a ton of these apps. And you could see, like, right now I have, like, in the last 24 hours, I am scraping a whole bunch of map data. So I've made 22,000 calls in the last 24 hours.
What's the difference between this and Replicate? Because I know previously you were using Replicate for a lot of stuff, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So Replicate, that's a great question, dude. Such a good question. Replicate, everything is open source.
Right.
Oh, you're so nice for putting it on here so everyone could use it. However, there are some companies that seem to, like, have some commercial models somehow. However, I have no clue how they did it. Like, this one is a commercial model, right? I don't know how they did that. Commercial, I'm guessing that whoever the owner is gets paid because this is Anthropic. Well, I don't know how they did that. Well, Rapid API allows me to sell API calls.
Got it.
And Rapid API handles that tracking and transaction. They handle, like, you just set up your product on here and then you could sell it. And like I said, you can go to the API marketplace and you can see these are a ton of API calls. There's skip tracing, there's active jobs, there's local business searches, real-time Amazon data. So you can scrape Amazon. There's Twitter APIs. So if you want to get Twitter data, you could get Twitter data and you could call it and then you could put it into an API. Right? So you could totally do that. There's, like, the old bird, which is a Twitter API. If you typed in website scraper API, right, you'll probably see mine, right? Like, one of mine's is up here, right? Mine's right here, made by Jeff Caldwell, right? And I'm selling this API so you could scrape, right? And then this kind of gives you a little dashboard to set it up. There's parameters, so you could, like, pass in a URL, and then you could, like, test that API endpoint. It's going to call that API endpoint. Now you have a request API. So this is like your request data. So let's just say, hypothetically, I wanted to, like, set this up, right? And this was like we wanted to build, like, a website scraper software, right? Well, I could go to create new snippet and I could say website scraper. And then I could say, create me a world-class dashboard for this API. And then I can paste in, you need 2 things with APIs. You need the send request. So what data are you sending in? And then you need the response, okay? So if you look at this, we have the request and then we have the response. Well, this is the response of all of it that it responded with. All right, so I could get the raw data, and this is a massive amount of code, right? I'm just going to paste this right in here, and then bam. All right, and then I could hit create in project, and the AI is going to start coding that up. All right, so that gives us our 2 things. We have our input and our output, which is our request and our response. And so this is basically, when I'm building this software, this is me creating and connecting 3 different APIs. Okay, so now that's the first one. So our first one we got from Rapid API, and I said I basically got a YouTube MP3 downloader, right? It's pretty much what I got from here, and all I needed was to convert YouTube videos to MP3. Okay, step 1. We just got to do step 1. Well, the second call is we have to take that thing and we have to get the transcript. And so we sent it over to OpenAI, right? So if I go to OpenAI into our calls here, all I did was go into OpenAI and I go to our documents and I got our transcription text, right? So text to speech or speech to text. Speech to text turns MP3s into text, okay? and with a transcript. So now if we ever want to use that, so now I have a transcript of everything of this class. Well, I could come over here and this is all of our transcript and here's the entire text for the entire class. Okay, well, we could do a lot of stuff with that now, right? Well, the very first one is I could just click generate SEO and now it's going to generate SEO. I could also set generate summary. It's going to generate a summary. So now we're doing a third call. We're not calling just the speech to text. Now we're actually calling the AI to actually like chat with this thing, right? So now we're actually doing the core concept of text generation. And then in a few seconds, we have an SEO. So now I have SEO content, which is my viral title. And then I have descriptions, right? Like I have my full description. I have all my SEO tags for that video. And then I could actually update this video. So now it's not just like this thing got 70 views and it has no description. You know what I mean? Like, so I could actually update this properly. Well, also inside this, I could click thumbnails and I could generate thumbnails. Right. And so we could have a thumbnail for it since I don't have a thumbnail, which that calls replicate. Right. So if you look right here, dashboard in my predictions. So I'm calling multiple AIs in this, and all I'm doing is on the front end is displaying them. Right. So you see right here, these are running. Well, that's my call. So I'm literally the AI is saying, create a striking YouTube thumbnail, right? And then this is what it spit out. So over here on the front end, this is what it shows, right? Bam. I'm scared to submit too many YouTubes who's got Gmail. All right, that's dope. All right, so we have some YouTube thumbnails, you know. Not all of them are great, but they're all right. So, and we could always create more.
So cool.
So this is like a software that I now added into my GHL.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
how do you? The only thing that I was worried about, because I was looking at it, was if someone can actually access like your API, like your API keys and stuff like that. Just looking at the source code, is that like an issue with GHL?
Yeah, absolutely. So here's the cool thing is, you see how I'm calling replicate?
Right.
So I'm calling replicate. Well, replicate, you see here, right here, it says replicate API token. Like this is my API token for replicate. Like I'm actively, you're right, getting this. Well, I use two things when I code, right? So this website scraper, let's see if it's done. All right. I use two things when I code. I use, all right, this is, what's up, man? All right, cool. All right, API request, documentation. All right, it really went all out with that dashboard. All right, let's just say simple dashboard. All right, as soon as it loads. All right, so we'll copy this again.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it like coded that up a lot. So we'll just say, so here's the cool thing.
That's 3.7, right?
Yeah, this is Claude 3.7. So I'll restart this and we could look at it in a second. So bam. So we have this little history thing that you could always restart. And then I'm just going to say, create me a simple dashboard. All right. And then bam, same thing, paste in our response. So we always have this history. So at any time you can always go back if it doesn't produce you what you want. But yeah, I use Claude 3.7 in this. So if we were to like use it, this kind of just looks a little funky. But you could always see that we could like, you know, go back to different ones and all this. I don't know what this thing's happening. So yeah. But here's like our little API request, right? A requester. Hopefully it's not just going to keep on. Yeah, this thing's going to just keep on going. All right. Bummer. All right. Once it's done with this new update, we'll be able to have it. So essentially, yeah, if there is a front end API like that where you are using it, what I like to do is I take and I put it on my server. Okay. So let's just say we actually want to take this code and put it onto our server. I use a $34.34 a year, I get a domain and a server. All right. And then that server, I could put multiple domains onto that server. Right. So for me, if
That's your VPS, virtual private server.
yeah, so VPS is one step above, right? So you have a VPS, have a shared server, which is on somebody's VPS. Okay. So you're even one step above what I have. All you do is need to get access to a cPanel. Okay. cPanel is going to be where you could actually upload those files.
Gotcha.
So now here's the thing. There's two types of codes, right? My AI team produces the code that my AI team produces is called HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. All right. So this is the little thing that we produce. Let's see what it says. Oh, this is the little dashboard. What's up? Create me a simple dashboard. What are we doing? What's happening? Okay. So we'll figure this out. How does it have my logo? I'm so confused. That's cool though.
It's really cool.
All right. So yeah, that's interesting. So dashboard. I wonder if it's already scraping a simple dashboard so I can call this API. Boom. I wonder if it was actually scraping it and then showing the results. I don't know what's happening. That's interesting. All right. So so essentially what we're doing is there's three languages that my AI team uses. It's called HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. There's also another language that's a back end script called PHP. So if we want to, let's just say once this code's done, all right, I take everything over into Cursor, okay? And from inside Cursor, that's where I build stuff, okay? So I connect from HTML to PHP inside Cursor is what I do. And my AI team in Cursor, my two little stuff, right? So I have this video transcriber and I'll open this. And you can see what I do with the video transcriber is I'm actually converting into PHP. Now PHP will run the code behind the scenes, not in the front end. So think of PHP server end code, while HTML, CSS, and JavaScript are all front end code. And this, you see how it says right here, API? Well, it's essentially pasting my API keys behind the scenes, not on the front. And now I embed that code, right? So this just a little website scraper dashboard, and I could hit scrape. API failed with a 303. What does that even mean? Let me add this. Boom. All right, so boom. Maybe I have to have my API. What's a 303? Uncaught promises. 303 server error. Nice. Okay, so yeah, essentially we're able to build these in here and call other APIs. And essentially, once this is done, let's just say we wanted to add this and like it was fully working. Once this is ready, we could take this code and I could actually add it to my server. So if I wanted to say, let's just see if this has an API in here somewhere, like an API key. Okay, so here's the issue. See where it says your rapid API key right here?
Okay.
Well, it says replace with your rapid API key. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here. And you're right. If I was to go to right here and hit inspect, you're absolutely 1000% right. I could go in here and I could see in the code that it's going to say replace that rapid API key, right? In the script and all that stuff. So here's what I would do is I would go into Cursor and I would go into here and new one. And I would say website scraper.php. Okay. PHP. And I'm going to paste that code. Okay. And what I could do now is inside Rapid API, I could come in here and get my key. Okay. And I could actually make that call. So what I'm going to do is come in here.
So essentially you would have two API key or two keys your actual API key in the PHP file, and then the makeup key that would be going on to your actual HTML, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You could also have them add their own API key, right?
Mhm.
So you could make it, right? So we could tell this front end, right? So we could say, can you make it so the user can add their own API key, and you hide it and save it locally. All right. And then we can hit generate. So this is essentially going to make it where they could add their own API key there.
Mhm.
And once they have their own API key, now it doesn't have your cost. So you're passing those costs onto the user. So,
Right.
that solves that. If you want,
So cool.
if you want to, right?
Mhm.
Now, here's the thing. The reason why you want to, so think about this. My AI team is the same way. My AI
Mhm.
team, every month, I had a variable cost. I had a user that would come in, and for $97 a month, they would be able to press the button unlimited times. Well, that got really expensive because I have to try to calculate credits, and all of a sudden I have a power user that presses it insane amount of times. But I have
Yep.
some other person that presses it maybe once a week, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, well, it's not fair to charge that same pricing for the different levels of users.
Mhm.
So what now I do is I just say, hey, put your own API key in, right? You go to this little key icon and you add your own Claude API key. So now it doesn't cost me a dime. And the user is passed on, the cost is passed on to the user. So now we could have a little API key, and I could hit save API key, boom. And now I could extract. And now we just scraped a website. And I just called that API request. All right. So now we have the scrape, we have images that it pulls, it gives me like any emails that it finds, right? Any of this, right? It can extract emails, text, images, phone numbers, all that stuff, right, from the page. So if I wanted to add this to my website, right, one is I could come in here and I could also say, can you make it so I can add my API key in behind the scenes, right? The
Mhm.
scenes, and it works. Okay, for Rapid API. So I could do it this way, and then Claude or whatever cursor's doing, right? Cursor will think of what to do, and it will work through. And it says, all right, I'll add PHP code. You see that? I'll add PHP code to store the key on your server and handle that request securely. So all of it's doing at the very top, you see right here, it literally added PHP code right here. Bam.
Yeah.
So all PHP is PHP code is added code that runs server side at the top of HTML.
So the user can't access the PHP code. They can't see it at all. Even if I like right click inspect or right click and view source code, you're not going to see it.
Yep, that is correct. So look, the key right here. So it says the key is now protected on the server side and won't be visible to the users in the client side JavaScript. All right, so here's what I do. If I copy this and I come over to my server, all right, we are on my server now, and I go to File Manager. I have all a domain is a file. Okay.
Yeah.
All it is, right? So there's no difference between a file on your computer like this and a file on a domain. All right. So my domain that I have is called tools. All right. Tools.myaiteam.com. Well, if I click on tools.myaiteam.com, I have all of these codes because I have a lot of tools, right? Well, I'm going to add a new tool called website scraper. All right. .php, because that's the file extension. Okay. So this is website scraper.php. Well, now if I go to this,
the code. Nice.
Yeah. Right. So if I go to tools.myaiteam.com/website scraper.php, well, watch what happens. It's a completely blank site. There's nothing here. Right. Well, why is there nothing here? Right. Well, if we go into the website scraper.php and we edit it, well, look, there's no code here.
Mhm.
That's right. There's nothing. Well, we could say hello, and I could hit save, and I could refresh this page, and magically hello is here.
Yeah.
So that means we could take code, and I could take this PHP code, and I could copy it, and I could come into my server page, and I could paste it, and I could hit refresh, and then magically our code is here instantly. All right. So how does this benefit us to actually monetize this? And what was this original call about? All right. So you said, what's the fastest way that I could get up and start selling this? All right. I personally believe that GHL, right, a website called Go High Level, all right, is this gives you the ability to basically set up and sell a software within the next 24 to 48 hours. Okay. Where you own. Well, here's the really cool thing. My AI team and Go High Level make really good babies. All right. So let me show you what I mean. All right. If I go to what's called switch to agency view, I could switch over here and I can go to settings, right? There's something on the left-hand side called custom menu links. And I can add custom menu links. So I could say, this is a website scraper. So I could say scrape. Is that anything? Scrape. How about website? Website, nope. How about data? All right, data.
Brush.
Oh, brush. All right, so brush. All right, this one kind of looks decent. All right, brush. All right, and I could say website, scraper. All right, and I could say link URL. All right, my link URL is
that's hosted within the account.
Yep.
As like an iframe.
Yeah. And now I can paste this link URL here, and it says click when open. This is an iframe option or new window.
Oh, okay, so you have multiple options. Dang. Okay, that's really cool.
You could say sidebar preference. So you could say who gets access to this. You could say you as the agency, or you could say your sub accounts. And then you could say which sub accounts. So you could say for all your sub accounts or just one person, right? And you could also select what roles you have. And then you could say permissions if you want to pass in permissions if you ever need that with your app. All right. So I just added that to my software into my AI team's account, or I could have added it to all. And then on the left-hand side, we have website scraper.
Dang, bro. That's sick.
And now you just added more value to your monthly white label of your software.
Yeah, absolutely.
And all of these softwares in my AI team can be added in a few seconds. But you have your own website. So imagine Joey just jumped on the call, right? Joey and I, we have a group. I'm not sure if you know this, Trevor, which this might be a business opportunity for you both to plop into, right? We have a group inside on Facebook that as of today has 22,700 users. And
wait, what is this? Is this the one that we're on? What is it? The AI coding legends or?
No, not yet. This is the AI music creators.
Oh, okay.
All right. If I look at the stats about this thing, in the last week, we've had 752 users join. I don't know where they're coming from. It's just random. There's 130 new posts today in the group.
Dang.
And I don't even know, I haven't posted there in months. Like, I don't even use it. Like, it's crazy. Like, it's so active in that group. It's wild. Well, here's the thing is, imagine all of these AI music creators are getting started in AI music. They want to build a website. They want to build an online presence. They want to sell their stuff. They want to show all that. You could literally, that's a huge market that you could sell right into. And all you have to do is put your logo on it and say AI music builders. And now you have your own website builder for AI music creators. And now inside here, you could put, look at all these codes. If you go at the very beginning, all of these down here, it's called AI public snippets. All these are public codes. That means you could use any of these codes to duplicate, okay? If you scroll to the very beginning, right, we have a ton of these things, okay? All of these are public that people decided to turn. I have music visualizers. Well, this music visualizer you could sell to your AI music creators. And now all of a sudden, you know, like they could use, but we have multiple music visualizers, not just one. You know, like these things, This one's a really cool one. So these things, this one actually, you see how it says microphone in use, right? It actually use your microphone. You could load up like audio files in this, or you could use your mic. And when you use your mic, this thing reacts live to whatever you talk. And so you could fully sell this software as part of your software, inside of your software. And then you could go full screen with this bad boy. And now you could stream this live. Like this could be part of a streaming package that you stream live. There's hundreds of different visuals that this thing reacts to. It's freaking wild. Hundreds. And this is a software that AI coded up, and you could plop it in seconds into your already everything that GHL has, right? Like, so you're not just starting with a software where it's like, hey, I have a website scraper. No, it's like, hey guys, I just added a website scraper on top of the ability to build websites, the ability to handle memberships and forms and payments and membership groups and courses. So it's like you're already adding this huge stack to stuff, and you're leveraging the 80 developers that Go High Level has, and all you're doing is putting your logo right there. That's it. And then you're selling it to people. And you just need one user, then 2, and then 3, and then you get to 5, and then you pay for itself. And then you get 6 and you're $100 in profit. We have 22,000 people in the group. We have 130 posts a day and 700 people a week. All we have to do is welcome them and say, hey, do you have a website yet? So you could highlight your stuff. If not, I have a free trial that you could check out. Right. And like, we just need a welcoming crew, and that could be a thing. So it's like, there's these huge opportunities, but everybody needs a website. So having what's the fastest way to start selling software? It's not like using AI to code up software. You can see like that. I still have to go and create a sales process and a checkout page, and I would still have to go and set everything up to sell this. However, within seconds, GHL, if I go to Aspire Builder Pro, right? Well, I already set up my sales process to sell my $500 a month white label version. Like I already have this sales process to sell this thing. Well, now everything on the inside is just a bonus, pure bonus inside of this thing. And so this is all talking about HIPAA compliance. And this is my builder for $500 a month. Well, that's what they get access to. Plus all of this other cool stuff. You know what I mean?
Amazing.
Yeah. So for me, if I was to start over and I was to start basically like in 2020, basically where I started with a website builder called Symvoli. Okay. Symvoli is the one I started. I put my logo at the top and I branded it. The website that I have is called aspirebuilder.com. Aspire Builder, literally all I did was put my logo right here and I used their same stuff. Like literally, no joke. This is the exact same stuff. Look, it's the same sales page. Okay. That's the same thing. All I did was put my logo up and I started to sell it. However, Symvoli is fantastic. I love Symvoli. It's like the Apple of website builders. However, GHL is not just a website builder. GHL is be able to communicate with your customers, be able to have a course with your customers, be able to have affiliate programs and memberships and websites. It's just so much more. And you can have people grow and build their business on top of this. So for me, my business is selling the software, which I sell services that are built on top of this software. Okay, so that's really my business. I build websites for these guys, but it's on my software. So now they're building their website and their entire business on my platform. Does that make sense? Like they're not going to just easily leave. They're going to continue paying a monthly service. If you don't have monthly recurring revenue, you don't have a business. And so this is what's built stability in my life through this, for whatever stability is worth the stability. You know what I mean? Like this has been the most consistent income is the website clients that are built on these platforms. And then 2 is the monthly recurring revenue that these platforms produce. Everything else has just been a cherry on top. Even my AI team has not been super consistent income. I will be fully truthful. It's not like this is a huge cash cow. No, I wish it'd be. I can't wait until it is. Like it's going to be awesome, and I'm going to focus on it more. However, the most consistent has been the website builders that I just simply put my logo on, and they take less than a day to set up.
Mm-hmm.
So the simplicity is not to overshadow the value of what this actually provides. This provides so much value. My whole business now is built on GHL. Not just my white label business, but my AI team is also built on this whole business. So I'm a user myself. Like everything that you guys see, all of the courses and the memberships and the private learn group, like that's all built on GHL, which is my Aspire building. So
that's amazing.
Yeah. So yeah. So the first one of any of you guys that shows up like and puts together a website builder for music, AI musicians, like I'm going to send people to you. You guys could use that group to farm, like it's a great freaking audience. You know what I mean? So it's just, who's going to do it?
Give it a thumbs up.
Yeah. I mean, and so, yeah.
Yeah, for sure, brother.
Yeah.
It's going down. I just got a free show through the Laws of Life, like a 30-minute show every week, and I'm going to use that to funnel people to I'm going to keep it related to AI music, try and highlight the people that are the most active, hold like AI music contests and all kinds of stuff. And also, like I told you, that song that's on TikTok, I figured this out. Like if anybody that's still making AI music that watches this, think of what people are going to search when they put a picture of like their kids up there or a picture of their mom, and make a song with that what they're going to search as the title of the song. And that's going to like, it's kind of like using keywords to build songs off of keywords, but make it sound not like, like a long tail keyword. But so like Juliet's been doing that with religious music, and on Spotify she's got her monthly listeners within a few weeks up to over 200 just because it's Christian music.
Dude, that's so cool.
She's tapped into that audience. Like I've only got 40 monthly listeners, and I've been doing it for like since we started, and she's built 200 in like 2 months. So yeah. Yeah, definitely gonna make it happen. This is my last week. I'm in like 2 different leagues like during the week, but this is the last week for it. So I'm gonna be able to have extra time to go all in on this next week.
Dude, that is awesome. That's cool. Like even sharing that you guys got a couple of views on and you're on Spotify, people are gonna want to know how to get on Spotify. So it's crazy as it is. I made more money through just teaching people how to create AI music than I ever did so far from the AI music. Right. So like if you think of that process, I mean, right. Like I forget who it was. Robert Kiyosaki said, I made $1 million. I made my first $1 million from selling or learning, like buying, selling real estate. But I made my next 10 million from teaching people how to buy and sell real estate. So, yeah. So a lot of times it's just teaching is a great opportunity too. So that's what's up.
Teaching and selling custom songs, teaching people how to use AI music to sell it as a service.
100%. Yeah. So that's cool, dude. Like that's awesome. I truly believe, like, I think everyone wants their music career to take off. You know what I mean?
Hey man, it's fun.
Yeah, it was like $250, but most of it was affiliate commissions. $60. Yeah, there you go. So, yeah. So those are right. So, but that group is definitely where it's at. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of audience members there that is definitely the ability to leverage. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. And with those courses. So,
yeah, that's what I need to get. I didn't get with you in time this week, but hopefully the first of the next week.
That's what's up. Heck yeah. All right. Well,
good old Jeff, always bringing the heat every call.
You guys rock. Thanks for showing up. Heck yeah. So,
and I was trying so hard to get here on time. The guy I was talking to wouldn't shut up. I was just like, man, I'm trying to get on Jeff's call today. So I rushed home on my little golf cart as fast as I could to try and get on here, man. I was trying.
Lots of stuff. All right. You guys rock. Well, heck yeah. Thanks for showing up. I'll see you guys next Thursday.
Later, broski.
Later.